of 10:30 at night, I'm going to film the first episode of the Publishing Diaries. So welcome. Welcome to this. It's really not that glamorous. It is just me rambling for a little while about all my worries and fears. So here we go. So I'm filming this at such a weird time because I just got back from an event that I helped set up. So I'm part of an editors association in my province in Canada, and we're currently collaborating between different associations to put on a careers in editing workshop for the coming year, and it is a lot of work, I guess, for the coming year, and with what I'm doing with school and possible internships, which I may be able to speak about later if things go the way I'm hoping they will. But nonetheless, I am at this stage where I'm wanting to do so many things, but it's looking like I'm not going to have all the time that I'm hoping I will to do them, and it's a little bit nerve-wracking. I guess I feel a little bit overwhelmed by it, but it's also so exciting because I love being a part of that community and getting to know everybody, and in doing that be able to gain some more experience moving forward. But yes, right now I guess I'm just feeling a little bit overwhelmed, but also excited, and yeah. Yes, and I suppose also balancing all of that with work and YouTube and my blog, but let's be real for a second, it's not like I'm super active on this channel yet, though I would like to be. I really would like to be once school starts, especially. But yes, and I did try to film earlier today, talking about 2 books that I read fairly recently. That's just my cat. And I'd been planning this out, I guess, for a little while, and my brain was just so, I guess, full of these things that I had on the go, that I just couldn't exactly focus, though I really wanted to. You may remember this when I partially held it up in my booktube newbie tag, where it was real cut off, like just terribly right at the beginning, so I had to insert a thing. So hopefully that won't happen this time. So Sense and Sensibility, you may remember I was currently reading this. Well, I had finished it a while ago, and then I also wanted to talk about Sula by Toni Morrison, and talk about how duality functions as a way to provide some social commentary by the author. So this is just really casual, like, so sorry if it is not super organized, my thoughts aren't really in order, so to say, but I really did love this book a lot, and the reason for that is the way that duality functions within it. So something that I was attempting to say earlier was there's a lot of duality between characters. There's a lot of duality in circumstance and plot. And in these moments of duality, the thing that really sticks out is the difference, as we're drawn to the duality, and the difference is what smacks us in the face, essentially. Lets us know of there being a right and a wrong. So with Sense and Sensibility in particular, I believe Jane Austen is using it as a social criticism in a sense, in that this, I'm sure like many of her books, wrap up a little too perfectly, but in this case there are a lot of different layers to it that we can look at to understand why that's the case. So for example, the character of Marianne and her traits of sense versus sensibility, though she begins as a character with all the sensibility and none of the sense, that's something that evolves throughout the novel, whereas with other characters, Willoughby for example, these do not come. And then Sula by Toni Morrison is more recent, obviously, but does something very similar in terms of its duality. So we follow, arguably Sula is the main character, though there are a number of different ones which we also look at, but in this case the duality is also between characters. So Sula and Nell, for example, who grew up alongside each other, perhaps to an extent where it was hard to tell them apart when they were younger, though as they grow up, their lives do diverge and they become separate. But yes, we follow Sula and Nell. And then also we follow Shadrach, who is a former war veteran who suffers from a form of PTSD when he returns to the town where he used to live, so he moves to Bottom, though I believe he was originally from the town of Medallion. And also in this is the two towns, Medallion and Bottom, mostly separated by race and resources as a result. So like Sense and Sensibility, this duality provides the reader to see the glaring disparities as well. And something else really worth noting is Toni Morrison writes atmosphere, as I've never quite experienced it before, where a sentence that she can write can provide so much atmosphere that you're given exactly what you're meant to take from it, while also experiencing something completely different based on who the reader is, I think. But yes, also in this theme of duality, there is a theme of ignorance and growing up and understanding, which is also present in Sense and Sensibility, and which I believe Marianne is the most representative of, though Eleanor also does in her own way, in that they no longer individually have the traits of sense or sensibility, though but they're able to gain the both of them by the novel's conclusion, and the characters that don't are left with this quite horrible end that we see of them. So for example, Willoughby, whose ending is quite tragic once we learn his backstory, but you also don't forgive him for the actions that he had previously. And in the case of Sula, Sula's end is quite sad, and in this case Sula tries to escape her town, but comes back changed, and that change is not looked on as being right. So she does not change in the way that we're introduced to her as being, in that her understanding never comes. though she tries to break this racial and political barrier. The understanding that she would need in order to do that never develops. So her ending is tragic, though we're given a glimpse of what could be in her attempt. And in Sense and Sensibility, and as well in Sula, these moments of disparity within the duality show these problems within each of their society and what they should and shouldn't do. So for Sula, it was the problems with the society in terms of how people treat different races and how equitable it is for everybody wherever they live. And in Sense and Sensibility, I should probably hold up them both if I'm going to be talking about them. In Sense and Sensibility, it is that that ability to grow up, though in this sense growing up equals being married, and that is when you gain your understanding. And with the perfect wrap-up of Sense and Sensibility, that's where I feel that the social commentary comes in. I feel like that kind of sums up how I felt, though there are so many other things that I could talk about with them both. But I will just leave it at that, as I cannot talk that well right now, as you may be able to tell. But yes, that is what I wanted to say earlier today. And yes, I'm feeling a little overwhelmed, as I already let you know, but excited and ready to learn more, experience more, and just get out there, do some work, and get closer to where I would like to be. But yes, I suppose that's where I'll leave off, though I will also share what I just finished reading, because it was really very good and very interesting, and that was the short story Young Goodman Brown by Nathaniel Hawthorne. Please read it if you haven't. It is very, very interesting, and I really liked it. I really loved it, I guess I should say. It was one that I can see myself rereading quite a bit. I hope to be able to update on all these things in my life regarding publishing and editing soon, as I will be beginning a few things that I would really like to share. But as of right now, I am returning to school in the fall. I have that to plan and get ready for. I am volunteering with 2 editor associations, both representative of the province that I'm in, though one is part of the federal, so Canada's editors as well. And then the other thing that I am also working on is collaborating with a local literary magazine, and hopefully that will result in this internship that I have applied for. But yes, I guess just tonight I just wanted to share with everybody, because I feel like I have really not been present, though I would love to be. But yes, I should really wrap this up now, as I need to go to sleep, I think. But I will get my cat. So good night. If you're watching this at night, though it's nighttime for me. I'm not sure what time it is now. I'm not sure how long I've been talking for, but yes, good night. And I hope to have another video up soon.